Get ready, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for kickoffs and kick-ons.
There's something going on today. Drew, have you done something with your look or...
Oh, you know what? Since last week, I feel like I've just got a bit of Les Kiss fever. I don't know, I just went to shave and I just stopped at this and went to put my contact in and instead I grabbed these glasses and got the fever.
And that genuinely looks like you've got some sort of fever, is that?
Yeah, so this rash came on around Wednesday. I would love to say it's from the wife, but it's not, and I'm hoping it keeps moving around, to be honest.
And Swoop, clearly serious kiss fever from you, mate.
Yeah, Kiss get the gig, did he?
You look good, son.
Don't I? Get your tongue out.
Yeah, Gene Simmons.
But how good?
Oh,
The news.
too good.
Since our last step.
Yeah. Do you want me to do my little intro and then we'll...
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I'd prepped something, but it's nowhere near as good as this. So, welcome to KOKO. All right, Les Kiss got the job. Goodness me. In all honesty, best result, what this little room wanted. Am I correct, Drew? Let's go to you.
Yeah, I feel so. I feel like it's the best option for all parties involved. So obviously there's Les Kiss and the Reds organisation. So for them to have an opportunity to find his, the next incoming coach, his replacement afterwards, potentially also around some assistance that he might take with him from the Wallabies. So it gives them enough time and a bit of a runway to kind of make that transition as seamless as possible with the Wallabies as well, get a little bit more time with Joe Schmidt, but also a seamless transition. But also, like we've sort of said the whole time, it presents an opportunity for the most amount of continuity between Joe Schmidt and the next coach. So I'm all for it. I think it's a great outcome for, across sort of every layer that this decision covers.
So 2-year deal. Les has signed from 2026. So Les has agreed to stay on for an extra 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
But first time in a long time, a succession plan where we haven't just got rid of a coach and found a new bloke.
Yep.
Can you remember the last time that happened, Gits?
Last time. No, I'm pretty sure they've all been sacked, haven't they?
Yeah.
Like for a long time that I can remember. At one point, they hang on, and then they get moved. But yeah, I think it's a great appointment. First Indigenous coach that we've had for Australia too, I heard. So I think that's also a huge step forward for Australian rugby as well.
Now, Swoop, Les Kiss, we know he's a bit of a spiritual guru. We met him up, was it last year? Oh, no, down in Melbourne.
Yeah, was that the
Super Round?
Yeah.
And we were at a bar and we were all just sitting and listening to him. And then, I mean, he was like a guru, right?
He is.
Will he be the right fit for this Wallabies team?
Absolutely. I think, you can see the success that he's had on the Reds program. I mean, he's passionate. He loves the game. He wants to make a difference. And he's got the experience. He's worked overseas for many years. Obviously, he's also worked with Joe Schmidt. So I like what Drew said. I like that transition and the cohesion and the continuity. So I think it's a great appointment.
Didn't you pick him, son? Way back when
No.
we first had
Oh,
Old State.
no.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
You picked every Kiwi there was.
Leon McDonald, you picked.
Yeah.
I threw it out there.
Yeah, but he was
But I
only
had
serious
Kiss.
around Kissy.
I had Kiss in my pocket.
Yeah.
Can we use that grab just because it was very serious, but he's dressed like a dickhead. Channel 9 did a cross, and I mean, Tommy, our production man, he's upset about this. Out of the 5 questions they asked him, 2 of them were about poaching leagueies.
Yeah,
I mean, aren't we past that?
Well, I don't think we're past it. I think you've got to understand as well, rugby league's biggest product is NRL. So it's I guess, catering to their demographic and the people that are going to be watching it. I think that with previous purchases like Joseph Suoli'i, that's giving rugby but also Channel 9 a lot of coverage, I think that's probably where it's coming from a production kind of hat on. That's just where it's at. I think also Les Kiss being a former leaguey himself, maybe, in terms of weight, there's probably too many questions about it, but that's probably, look, at the same time, like, it's getting his coverage. What he does moving forward, like, they'll still cover it. If they ask the question, so be it. But, I think it's probably more just around, what ticks the boxes for the Channel 9 as a network more than,
Are you still employed by them? That's
no,
what this
but
is.
I think if you look at it, like, look realistically,
I know.
that's where
I
they're
agree.
coming from. Like, I don't know if Les will target too many, or if any, not many, if any, have an individual got the skills to go and rock a show like this.
Not many.
But yeah, it's just one of those things. I don't know what you wanted us to say with that.
I don't know. It was Tommy that was
No,
kicking
but
off. He said notes about it.
I think it could have been just, there were only 5 questions and 3 of them were about the league. So once he'd answered it, maybe move on.
Yeah.
I could see what they're trying to do. They're trying to angle it a certain way, but just let Les have his moment.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
ask him good questions.
Yeah, but why not allow that conversation to filter into the rugby league community? I mean, if rugby's a conversation.
Because you want the union kids that are playing union now to not think that if they work hard and get to that point that they're going to be taken over by some superstar leaguey. I just think it's a bad image for rugby. That's my opinion.
Yeah, but I also think sometimes that's the reality of it, right? Like when I was playing wing early days, it was Lottie, it was Wendell, it was Matty Rogers. And then now these days it's Joseph Sawley. Then
But they were still talking about you when you get in the Wendell. You're like, look at this Drew Mitchell, he's up and coming.
Yeah,
Whereas now we're not recognising the juniors that we've got necessarily.
No, I understand
I
what
think.
you're saying.
I guess what I'm saying is, as a junior, if you're playing league, that's kind of your only pathway is to stay in the game. But I guess if there's a conversation floating around now, there's kind of rugby league and rugby union, and what union can do, like what you've always said, Drew, around the global opportunity. It's in the back of their mind, and they might want to kind of switch a little bit earlier. So
I know a lot of
there might be a positive to it, but
I know a lot of
silver lining.
ex-leagueies and a lot of ex-union guys now, and you guys have way more cash than them. So if you are sitting at home and you're thinking, which one should I do? 2 out of the 3 blokes here are doing really well in terms of cash.
And Drew's got more overseas roots.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Than any other
Drew's
league.
Experiences. That's what Drew's got.
Yeah.
Brings us to our slogan. Obviously, we went pretty deep and hard on Schmidt it in.
Yep.
Obviously, 500,000 hats was a bit much. We thought it'd be the next 10 years.
Still got 12, or what do we still got? 18 months?
18 months.
To
for
sell
Schmidt. Time to come up with our new slogan.
Well, we went, I think, on the announcement of Les, it's Les Go.
Yes, let's go.
It's Winner's Kiss.
Winner's Kiss.
And it's, what was the other one?
We've got Taking the Kiss.
Yeah.
We've got Kiss-offs and Kiss-ons. We changed our show.
A couple of good ones in the comments, weren't there? These are the ones in the comments. Kiss-offs and Kiss-ons.
That's really good.
Piece of Kiss.
Yeah.
Or Hit and Kiss.
Piece of Kiss.
Prof,
Yeah.
who was your first kiss?
Ooh.
It was.
You always remember your first. Come on,
I
mate.
do. It was. His name was Father John.
You're right. Okay, how'd that go for you?
Oh, that's. Well, I push it way deep down and I don't talk about
Yeah, you
it.
might want to deal with that.
Yeah. No, my first kiss was at a school dance, and I don't know her name. It was consensual.
Good.
Sorry, but it was on the dance floor.
Did you
and there was a bit of-
practice?
Yeah, I did practice.
How?
My brother.
Wasn't the
Only
go
less.
onto your,
Yeah.
like there? You're supposed to,
Did you?
practice?
Is that? Did you? Okay, who was your first kiss?
yeah, I knew that's what he's having.
Oh, are you tossing up names?
Go
or is
on,
it
here
an
we go.
amazing
Come on,
story.
let's go, Swoop.
Yeah, well, an old girlfriend from Nippers, Kate. But yeah, it was very interesting. Bit of teeth clash.
Oh.
You clash
Really?
on the-
You
yeah,
went in with
clash
your
on the-
teeth?
Oh yeah, I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Front foot.
Yeah. Yeah. I think mine was the girl named Jess. I was in year 6. She was year 7. Slayer. I think I was waiting for the bus, and it was one of those ASMR kisses where it was over.
Oh, really?
Oh,
I
really?
think there was a fair
That's
bit of
good.
noise there. Yeah. I was pretty. There was a fair bit of moisture.
Have you changed your technique? In
Oh
later
yeah,
years?
I mean, you adapt and like a bit of feedback. That was fucking gross.
What do you
Oh,
do?
is that right?
No, there
Obviously,
wasn't any of that.
no.
but-
What do you do now if you're kissing?
What do you mean?
Like, how often is your mouth open? I'm asking for a friend. And
Yeah, that's definitely a little bit. It's like
and then you.
it's like church kiss, like not porn kiss, but church kiss.
Okay.
What do you mean, like a wedding? What you're supposed
Yeah, like
to do
like
when you
when
get
you
married?
kiss your bride type kiss, not
Yeah.
like not if you're on Swoop's OnlyFans.
Yeah.
You strike me, Drew, as a bit of a chameleon pasha.
Like,
You know, like
let
you
them take the
adapt.
lead a bit.
Yeah, quickly.
Or you got multiple techniques.
Yeah. What's
I
your
can just-
favourite?
I'm not big on when they really fucking bite your lip.
Oh,
really?
Like when they really get it, you're like, ah!
Yeah,
No,
right.
but just when they sometimes bite the lip, right? It's a bit like again, like subtle bite, not bite my lip
Do you
off.
like being bitten anywhere else?
Can't take you seriously. Anyway, this is going.
Did you ever, rather than, you didn't refer to it as a kiss back in the day, did you guys say you going to get onto her? Like,
Yeah, we
Oh,
say you
yeah.
get onto her. Yeah, yeah.
what
yeah.
was that?
Did you get
Like,
onto
yeah,
her?
did you get onto her?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's weird dialogue.
Yeah.
You've really been thinking about this, haven't you, son? It's taking you back down.
Was she the
memory
one that
lane.
got away? This
Must be
nippers?
his kiss fever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Les has done it to him.
Well, I mean, I'm all about that WK winner's kiss.
Yeah.
So first kiss from you, Gits. We didn't get
Wife.
it. Okay, terrific.
It's good. Still that good that we've stayed together.
Really,
Mm.
mate? It's a tale as old as time, isn't it?
It is.
It's beautiful.
I've got-
So what are we going to go? I personally, can we vote real quick? I like
Yep.
Let's Go. I think it's simple. We can go, let's go.
The only reason I like Les Go is because Drew found a guy on LinkedIn.
Yes.
And his name was Les.
I found him on
go.
LinkedIn and I sent him a message.
Did he get make out?
He hasn't replied yet, but I sent him a message saying, hey, we do this podcast. We'd love to have you on. Take 10, 15 minutes of your time. Let us know. Let's go.
Mm.
Let's go. Let's go.
And he hasn't come back to you.
Nah.
Which one do you like? Have you picked one?
I mean, I don't know. Why can't we have three?
Budgetary constraints? Do we?
We all can have
Well,
one.
I
give us
feel like
one.
we could have like
Can we have one each?
Yeah. Well,
beer coasters with winner's kiss.
Yep.
We can have shirt and apparel with let's go.
okay.
You know, we could have. I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
just
I
throwing
like
it
the
out
winners. I like the winners kiss.
Winner's kiss is good.
Let's go. They're all good. Like Drew knows what he's doing. I just follow him.
What's
holding the tail.
important to note, Matthew, is that we started all of them.
Mm.
Yeah, we had the little trademark with the O in the middle. It
did,
actually
Ogren.
says Tom.
Don't look too closely. We do have a big show lined up. I actually wrote a poem.
Did you?
Yeah, well, to keep it real quick at the top, but then
Oh,
you
yeah.
did this whole thing. Can I do it real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, Les Kiss takes charge. Wallabies fans cheer. Super Rugby takeaways for all to hear. Sevens in LA light up the night. The Wallaroos soared and Fiji's defence was a bit shite. We're picking lines. Who makes the plane with Sione Tuipulotu? Who'll step into frame? Then Dear Drew will wrap us with wisdom and flair, kickoffs and kick-ons, rugby talk laid bare. It's three Wallaby legends, a cheeky old crew. It's Gits, AAC, and that rascal Drew. Yes, it's the KOKO Show. No need for luck. We chat, we roast, and we really don't give a fuck.
I knew after luck where that was going.
Yeah, I didn't know. Not overly subtle. So that's in the show. It is a massive show.
It is a big show, yeah.
That's a great poem.
Good on you, Prof.
Yeah.
We've got to get deep into the lines because, as
Yeah.
we know, on the 8th of May, they announced their squad. If we get all 37 right or whatever, we are geniuses.
Yeah, which we're likely to get 37 right.
We are. A man who is on our list
Mm-hmm.
to start this show. What a way to start here.
Don't do it to me, Prof.
He's here.
Is he
He's
ready?
here already. He's listening.
Where is
Scottish
he?
captain.
Is he actually listening?
He is. Sione.
Really?
I believe so. Is there anything you want to say while he's listening before we talk to him?
Maybe, because I don't want to mention it to him or embarrass him, but when he was playing at Yamaha, we used to fold him when I was at Suntory. You did the same at Kobe as well.
Yeah.
There he is.
Hey.
Sione. Were you listening just then?
Good morning, fellas. Hey, good morning. How's going?
Yeah,
see
good,
that.
mate. How are you?
Yeah, all good. I'm just sorry about the unprofessional setup. I'm just in the car. I've just drove into training. We got an early start this morning.
No, that's okay. What sort of car? Doesn't look like it's a shit one.
I am in a Beamer, mate.
Oh, that a boy.
This kid. I like it.
Sione, hate to be the producer here. That's a real pain in the ass. Do you mind just turning your camera so it's landscape for us, please?
Yeah, gotcha.
This can all stay
Gotcha.
in the pod. This is fine. There we go. Beautiful.
Good to go?
Yes.
That's
You look magic there,
Double
mate.
sunroof too.
Double
They haven't
sunroof.
just given him a
Double.
shit beamer.
I think they're called a moonroof. when
Yeah,
it's a
a
double.
cloud roof.
Hey, Sione, I don't know how much of the show you've seen, but our young scribe, Tom, likes to write an introduction. I think he's a fan of yours, based on what I've read. So he loves to give it to the Aussie players, as in the Wallabies.
Yeah.
But let me just find it here, Sione, and then I'll read it to you. Let's introduce our special guest, Sione Tuipulotu. This week on the KOKO Show, we have a very special guest that can only be described as the one that got away. After being born and raised in the rugby union mecca of Melbourne, RIP Rebels, and thanks a bunch for taking that bullet, this fella took his talents to the land of cakes, stingy people, and prickly plants. That is right. This bulldozing ball carrier, now called Scotland home, and to rub salt into the wound, he captains their fucking rugby team, and he is slowly taking all his siblings to join the enemy ranks. Alas, we aren't here to bend this bastard over a barrel, but rather big up what he has done for the game of rugby. So please welcome the Frankston freak of nature, Melbourne's masterpiece, and now Glasgow's golden guy. As we always say in Australian sport, if you truly love them, then set them free to Scottish rugby. It is, of course, the one and only Mr. Sione Tuipulotu.
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh, thank you very much. How good.
That
Thanks
was a
very much
nice
for having
one.
me, guys.
Yeah, that was very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, not
Mate-
where I would have gone.
Mate, thanks for jumping on the pod. Let's just start firstly. How's things going with your injury? You've been out for a while?
Yeah, I've been out for what's it now? Just over 3 months now. But I'm back into full training and everything now, and I'm basically just waiting on Franco to give me the tap on the shoulder and when he thinks best that I should get back out there before we go on this finals run with Glasgow. So, mate, I'm happy it's over. I can't tell you how it was tough last 3.5 months. Just it's the longest injury that I've had. So, just watching so much footy and. Just being to be honest, no, I don't want this to come across the wrong way, but being at home a lot more, it was doing my head in, and I was getting cabin fever. So no, I'm happy it's all over and I can get back out there.
I was going to, how did you actually tear your pec? How did that happen? And what was the feeling? What's the
Mate, it was
sensation and everything that goes with that?
It was just a normal training session, and mate, it was at like 30% contact as well. That's why I was doing my head in, and I just had my arm out, and I felt like a sudden, like 2 jolting pulls, and then kind of felt like it almost felt like liquid running down the front of your pec, but obviously on the inside.
Yeah, right.
So I knew something was wrong, but I was completely in denial, mate. I was running around going, "Oh, it's just cramp," but there was a hole in my chest. And I was running around going, "It's just cramp." But obviously in my head, I knew something bad was happening.
What's the surgery or the operation involved with that? Is there like a reattachment?
Yeah. So, look, to be honest, the guy explained it to me pretty good. There's this guru down in Manchester called Professor Funk,
I like that.
and he basically they just reattach it to like your shoulder bone. Mine didn't come completely off my pec tendon, so but it still requires the same amount of surgery. So yeah, they just kind of basically just drill it back into your shoulder there, and then 3 and a bit months, and then it's good to go.
How worried were you when it happened? Like, obviously you're missing a large chunk of the Glasgow season, but every year you can play for Glasgow, whereas the British and Irish Lions only comes around every 4 years. How worried were you that you're going to miss out on that opportunity as well?
Oh, mate, I'm not embarrassed to say the first couple of weeks were real tough, and my missus would tell you at home, it was like Shutter Island, mate. I was I was just pacing around thinking about what's going to happen, and but now I'm at the back end of this injury. I kind of wish I didn't waste energy on worrying about it, but it's hard at the time, and now that it's over, I'm just glad it's all done now.
Mate, only a few days away until Andy Farrell names his Lions squad, and you haven't played for a period of time. Has he made any contact and sort of said to you, this is what you need to do to get back and get into his squad, or has there been any communication?
To be honest, mate, not much communication. I think that's the beauty of the Lions. It's all quite secretive and everything like that. So, I'll just be like everyone else, waiting for Thursday and the announcement. And I understand it's a nervous week for everyone that's playing over here, and everybody wants to be on that plane and going to play the Wallabies. So yeah, look, it's a nervous week, but yeah, I don't know. There's not much I can do now. Like you say, I've been out for a bit, and that's why my situation is just a little bit different to, I suppose, boys that have been, playing and, week by week had an opportunity to, impress or influence the situation. But I just hope everything that I did before I got hurt for Scotland and Glasgow can hopefully be enough that I can go and come back home.
Do you have an idea what the return to play is in terms of your first match? And if so, have you thought about how much footy you can get in potentially before the first game of the Lions?
Yeah, so we've got 2 more round games. I'll be available to play, this week and next week. It's just going to be whether or not Franco usually knows best in these situations, because then straight after that, we'll go on our finals run. We're on, at the moment, we're second on the ladder. So we've got a home quarter and hopefully can get through to the semi. So there's 4 or 5 games there that that I can play hopefully before the Lions go away.
And if all things go as we think, and our board, we're locked in line, you made our list, so that's more important than Andy Farrell's. But if it goes to plan, and you come down. How much are you looking forward to folding Joseph Swaliti after you guys had a little run in there?
That was spicy.
Oh man, I don't want to put any targets on my back. I know Owen Toolan, who's the analyst at the Wallabies, and he used to be our analyst at Melbourne, and he's told me to stop talking on these podcasts about Joey because he says he's raring to go. So I'm gonna put any targets on my back for Big Joey, but he's done so well since he's joined Union, and my brother's also at the TARS with him. He says he's a good bloke off the field. So hopefully I'm looking forward to going up against him again, hopefully.
Well, we've asked each guest that are likely to come down for the Lions, and also Wallaby players that are likely to play against them, if there's a player they just want to fucking fold. So it's not Joseph. So who else is it? You got some former teammates that'll be involved, some guys that you know well. Who is it you want to fold?
You know, if I was going to play, I grew up with Rob Leota. Not an easy guy to fold, but I actually broke his collarbone when we were 13. And he's always told me he doesn't know when, but get back's coming. So
Yeah, right.
I'll have my guard up with him, and I'll try and go 2-0 up.
Well, hey, we'll keep an eye out for it. There's
How
your
good's a
clickbait,
broken?
Tommy.
I love broken collarbones, eh?
Have you done is it your clavicle?
It's clavicle, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. No, I haven't done it.
No?
No.
There you go.
You got to.
Hey, Sione, let's Lions is great. Let's park it for a sec. Let's hear the Sione story. You grew up in Melbourne, so how have you gone? Obviously, AFL is religion down there. How did you get into rugby growing up in Melbourne?
Yeah, so I actually played soccer for the first 8 years of my life. I didn't start playing rugby till 13. And yeah, that was largely my mum's influence. And then I think 12, 13, my body shape started changing a bit and wasn't really good for soccer or AFL, by the way. And my old man just gave me the tap on the shoulders. Probably time to go play rugby. So yeah, that's where I went down to Southern Districts down there in Frankston and started playing footy. Footy down there, and then that led me on to St. Kevin's College, where I played a lot of schoolboy rugby, and then just went through the natural pathway of schoolboys and Aussie 20s in Australia, then through to the Rebels. So yeah, a bit of a stranger journey, just because everything in Melbourne at that time, especially when I was growing up, there was no real pathway. Like when I was 13, 14, 15, Rebels weren't really developed yet. That once they did land in the city, I felt like it had for the time that it was there, had a positive influence on the kids there, because they could see, at least a pathway to go through and play professional rugby for, their home state.
Back then, and on reflection, obviously, the decision to kind of move overseas and grow your game, develop your game, and take an opportunity over there in Scotland, it's probably a little bit easy to look back on now, but I'd love to know or dive deep into your thought process and how hard that decision was, and if there was anything defining around that process that made you make the decision to leave.
Yeah, to be honest, it's easier for me to talk about now. I reckon when I first left Australia, I was so hurt about everything, because I was playing for my home state, and for whatever reason, I felt like the club and the coaching staff that were at the club at the time didn't really back me, or didn't really give me many opportunities to play. And I had so much built up anger, because I was so passionate about playing for the Rebels and hopefully one day playing for the Wallabies at the time, that I was really hurt. And to be honest, by then as well, after a couple of years of being, I suppose, inconsistent rugby at the Rebels, I kind of lost the love for it a bit as well. And I've actually moved to Japan first, where I played Gits actually.
Yeah, I was just talking before you came on. I was just saying how I smash you.
I got a good story about you, Gits, in that game.
Oh, here we go.
I don't know if Gits has told you boys this, but I remember, sorry to get off track, but just before half time, it was Suntory versus Yamaha, and was that a semi-final, Gits?
No, we played you at the back end of the year, semi-final. That was one of the round games where Goromaru was big. He was like the superstar after the World Cup. You were playing wing, weren't you?
I was playing wing, yeah. Strictly with hawk wing. They kept me out of the backfield for the obvious high balls and stuff like that, but I was just defending. But yeah, it was just before half time. And do you remember Vili Tahitua?
Yes, I hated that bloke.
Yeah. Oh, mate, he's generally one of the best ball carriers in the world, I think, and no one knows him outside of Japan. But he ran straight at Gits. We used to have this play called 12 up, and it was literally no deception, 4-man line out for some weird reason, and we just give it to Vils to wind up. Anyways, he got Gits. He put the old general out, and I did see. I was in a good mood because I saw Gits' eyes roll back, and I was like, he's out. He's out. he's done here. And I'm like, I'm happy. It's just before halftime. Look, I hope your head's okay, but I'm happy. He's not returning. So we go into the sheds, and I'm feeling good about it. I'm like, it's a close game. They've just lost their best player. We're good here. I run out of the change room, and I'm not joking. It wasn't just like a normal, like a glazing shot. I saw his eyes in the back of his head, like he's out. We're running out of the change room. And I see Gitz run out and start putting his headgear on. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Change room win, son.
And he's strapping on his headgear. One of those, I think that game went to extra time, and Gitz ended up hitting the penalty to send us home.
Yeah, it was the semi-final. You're right. That one was the semi.
And is that the year that you went on to win it?
And he hit. We went into Golden Point, and he hit the goal to send us home. And I was raging. I remember after the game, I was the biggest advocate for head injuries. I was like, he shouldn't have played on. It's not fair.
Oh, I didn't want to come back on either. I remember the doctor after the game said, "Oh, sorry, Gito-san, but we needed you back out there." So I don't know what happened with the test or whatever, but I think he must have helped me throughout the testing.
Can you remember the second half? Do you remember slotting the goal?
Yeah, I do, because I didn't know it was Golden Point, so I thought it goes to a certain amount of time. So when we had a shot, because I think Goromaru was supposed to put a kick up, but it just went straight up in the air. So then we were able to get the ball, then they were offside, so then we got the penalty there, and I kicked it. But I thought we'd go back and everyone was celebrating. I said, look, calm down, the game's still to go. And that was it. It was all over.
Very good. Hey, so Sione, you were talking about moving to Scotland. So we got sidetracked there.
Yeah.
So you're annoyed at the Rebels. And away you go.
Yeah, so and then I moved to Japan for 3 years, and that genuinely it solved a lot of things for me in terms of up top, and I started loving footy again. And and then at the end of at the back end of that last 3 years, it was kind of the decision time of where I kind of wanted to go with my career, and because you could stay in Japan and for 5 years and try and be eligible for them, but to be honest, I had kind of set my goal on either coming back to Australia to try and play for the Wallabies, or after Gregor called me and explored the opportunity of coming over and trying to play for Scotland. Those were the two options, and for whatever reason, I think it was a hard decision for me because Scotland's so far from Australia and all my family and stuff like that it was going to be a big move for myself. But for whatever reason, I made that decision to come over to Glasgow and Scotland, and I've been here for it ever since.
Now, Sione, you've got heritage, right? I think it's your grandma that's Scottish. We saw some amazing footage where the Scottish, and I think along with a sponsor or something, flew your grandma over and surprised you there for your first game as captain. Like, must also be pretty nice to be able to represent your family in that way, but I guess them to fabricate that moment for you guys.
Yeah, definitely, mate. And I think it's important for people over here to, it's kind of it's the running joke of, oh, he's got a Scottish granny and so does everyone,
Yeah.
But it's nice for people over here to see her, and put a face to it all,
and to hear
my story and
her accent.
Exactly. Exactly. So that was nice for me, but it was, to be honest, mate, it was really nice for her, and she lives with my parents back home now, and I would say she wouldn't mind me saying, but her day to day is pretty monotonous, and for her to have a moment to come over here and live a little bit and get a bit of excitement, I was so stoked for her, and she absolutely loved it, mate. She was walking around Glasgow and people would recognize her, and she had the scaps back and she had the Spider-Man stroll on, and I was stoked for her, mate.
Very strong Scottish side at the moment. Start of the Six Nations, we're all sitting here saying they're a good chance of winning it. Sadly, you didn't get to play in that Six Nations. Lions coming up, how many out of those 15 do you think have a genuine chance of being Scottish? The starting 15.
Yeah, geez. I wish all the lads could go.
Yeah,
but
that's
I
such a
just know
tough
that's
question.
not
But it
If
should
you're
be a
still
hype-
playing with him, you've got to say 15. Otherwise, the boys say, "Oh, mate, why'd you pick him and not me?"
Say 15 then, Sione. That's an easy one. Or
we'll
high
take the
percentage,
Scottish
though.
15. Perfect. No, I think so many of those blokes have been putting up their hand now for ages. The obvious ones of Finn and Blair and even Skuman who was on your show. I think those guys are Dewey. There's so much talent in the squad and those guys have been playing good footy for not just this year, but the last 2 or 3 years. For Scotland in Six Nations and everything. So. I'd hope that those guys would be in contention, and I hope that as many of us can go.
One player you left off was Hugh Jones. I thought he had a phenomenal Six Nations without you there. What are your thoughts on him?
Yeah. Oh, mate, I tell everyone he's the best 13 that I've ever played with. He's an amazing player, bro. Genuinely, sorry that I left him out. He'd be cut up about that actually. Amazing player, bro, and it's very strange to explain, but. There's a couple of these guys back home as well, but it's that he's that player that, in schoolboy rugby or, age group rugby, there's always that kid that's bigger and faster than everyone, but he kind of does that at a professional level, like that's his point of difference is his athletic ability. He's just bigger and faster than everyone. And he's an amazing player, bro, and a big game player as well. He always seems to play well against, your Englands or, and have big games for Glasgow in our bigger games.
Moving to Glasgow, has it been a bit of a culture shock? I mean, I spent a lot of time there. These guys get sick of me talking about it. My missus is from there. So there are big differences between living in Australia and living in Scotland. Have you had any moments where you've gone, geez, I'm in a strange place?
Yeah, look, I remember when I first got over here, I ended up doing about 4 weeks of isolation in a hotel. Because there was an incident when I popped out of the first 2 weeks of isolation where there was a case I had to go back in. So I did 4 weeks, mate, in a room with no windows, so it was smelly in there. But I remember for that 4 weeks, I was it was a glass windows and it was just raining for 4 weeks, and I was thinking I'm in trouble here. This is a little bit different. But the winters, my first winter hit me like a ton of bricks, bro, because it's not just the rain and the coldness, it's the darkness. And the sun's going down at like 3:30 p.m. here. So by the time you leave training, it's already pitch black. And then the sun's not coming up till 9:30. So you're getting 6 hours of sunlight a day in the winter. So that's pretty hectic. And yeah, that I would say that was the biggest shock for me. Sometimes I got to get off the Instagram during Aussie summer because all my family is just putting up, videos and shit on the beach, and I'm just like, all right, I'm just gonna take a break from this.
That was around Christmas time when we were in France. And Drew did the same. Well, Swoop, you would have done it, but we actually spoke about just exact that. Don't look at your social media because everything back home, barbecue, beach, all that.
Yeah.
Can I tell you a quick one that happened to me, a little culture shock one? Let me tell you a quick one. So my father-in-law is a retired police officer, and I had just started dating his daughter, who was 21, 22. I sent some thongs over. Didn't for Christmas. Said to him,
thongs for your feet or
Australian thongs.
Yep.
I asked him. I sent him a note saying, "Mate, can you go to the post office? I've bought a bunch of thongs for your daughter." He thought I'd bought a lingerie.
Oh, jeez.
He wanted to kill me. And then apparently on Christmas Day, he opened it and just burst into laughter and was like, they're thongs. No, they're not thongs. I was just like, Jesus Christ.
See your missus trying to start putting them on.
Yeah. So Sione obviously grew up, I'm assuming, wanting to play against the Lions. And, hopefully now you'll get the opportunity to play for the Lions. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, it is a strange feeling, mate, to be honest. And, I've never shied behind the fact that, I didn't grow up, envisioning myself in Scotland and playing for Scotland. I grew up envisioning myself playing for the Wallabies, and that was my dream. But, it's interesting talking about the Lions because I was with Jamie Roberts a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking about, what my memory of it was, that Lions series. And I remember just thinking back now, it's funny because I'm on the other side of it now, and I remember cheering for the matchup between Folau and George North and how special that was. And I remember being so behind for Lau, and now I'm on the other side of the fence and I'm so passionate about trying to play for the Lions. It is a strange feeling, mate. But yeah, I don't know. I suppose I felt like I'm really passionate now about playing against the Wallabies, not because I want to get back at Australia or anything like that. It's not because of that. It's just because you get to play your friends, and there's no funner games that you play than against your friends. So it's really exciting, mate.
Yeah, I was going to say that as well. Not only have you got an opportunity to play for the Lions, but as fate would have it, it's the first opportunities against the Wallabies. It must just be like just a sort of second layer in terms of like the excitement of it all.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, mate, like it is the motivation to beat your friends, like it's I'm assuming it's probably the same for you guys when you were playing super against each other. There's no game you get up for more than when you're playing your mates. And that's why I felt like the Scotland game against the Wallabies in the autumn was so spicy, because you get to say things to your friends that probably, that are a little bit spicy. You get to see their reaction, and it makes the game fun, and then after the game, you can, have a beer together and everything's all sweet, hopefully. But in the game, it does make it fun.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, for the 3 tests, like, is there anyone that you've sort of earmarked as maybe swapping jerseys, like, rugby, any professional sport? You often swap jerseys after the game. Is there any mates that you want to swap jerseys with?
I really want to wait for Thursday to hear my name first.
Yeah, of course. We don't want to put the mocker on you, but let's just say hypothetically.
Hypothetically, I played a lot of my junior rugby with Hunter Paisami as well in Melbourne. Nice. He was with me when we were both in Melbourne playing footy there together. So I would love for him to get a chance to play for the Wallabies again after his injuries, and I could hopefully swap a jersey with him.
I just want to go back to the spicy things you're talking about, how spicy it is when you're playing Australia and you can say things. What did you say? Or what was said?
I can't say that, Gitz.
Fair enough.
I can't say
well, can
that.
you roughly say what you didn't say?
No, I remember, mate, it was funny because early in the game, Belly actually ran over me, and Belly's really good close mates with my little brother, and that was the last thing that I needed to happen early in that game. Is Belly run over me. Anyways, he didn't lip up at me because I think the game was still tight at that time.
Yeah.
And I think maybe 50 or 45 minutes into the game, we had got a little bit of a lead, and I got him in a ruck. And I hit him in the ruck, and I said, 1-1, Fatty. And he goes back to me, he turns around and goes, "Shut the fuck up, Nons."
Who's the lippiest out of the Wallabies in those games? Like, who throws out a lot of chat? I'd love to know the talkers there.
Oh geez, I've only ever played that group, under Joe Smith
for
once,
that one game, who was throwing out a lot? Anyone?
Tom Wright. I love Tom Wright. I know him from back home as well. Me and him were speaking to each other a bit as well, but he just kept laughing in my face, which was infuriating me.
Was Carlo wasn't playing that game, was he? Tizano?
No, he was playing actually. He was playing, I think, but he wasn't talking much.
Okay. He's got a proper screw loose, Carlo. Watch out for him.
Yeah, I've seen some stuff on his show, bro. He's an interesting guy, isn't he?
Interesting. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Now we are running out of time here. You've got to go into training. I realise that. So there's something we like to do with the 3 boys. You've probably seen it. It's start 1, bench 1, drop 1. This is your chance to pick one of these blokes to start, pick one of them to put on the bench, and say goodbye to one of them. So over to you, Sione.
Okay. We're going current state, right?
No.
I reckon peak of your powers, isn't it?
I can't pick in prime. I'm gonna pick in current state.
Okay, yeah, up to you.
Sure.
I'm gonna in current state. I'm gonna pick. Gitz is gonna start. I just feel like Gitz never stops training.
Thank you, sir.
I feel like he's gonna be doing MAS run at 60. So I'll start Gitz. And then out of you two boys, just a question from who's enjoyed retirement more out of you two, would you say?
Well, that's a tough one, mate.
Yes.
It's a photo finish. Although I've been retired 8 years, you've been what, 3 years?
3 or 4, yeah.
3, 4.
But he's been enjoying it at double the speed.
Yeah, I feel like I'd I probably enjoyed it to a point where now I'm going back the other way and starting to train a bit with Gits.
Getting fit again.
I did go for Sione. I did go for a 10K run yesterday.
Yeah, but he ran 12.
Okay, you're in. Swoop.
Oh,
Swoop, you're in. I feel like you might have a bit more versatility as well. Would that be fair, Drew? Is that a bad thing to say?
Oh, mate, I think we've had enough of you. It's time to go. Yeah, look, it's fair enough. It's fine. It's fine.
Very good. Hey, has anybody got anything else for Sione before we let him go?
That's fantastic.
No, I just, mate, all the best for Thursday.
Absolutely.
Hopefully you get a call and a letter as they do, but hopefully seeing you down here later in the year representing the Lions.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Cheers.
Thank you for that, mate.
Sione. There you go.
Yeah.
What a great guy.
Yeah, great fella.
Fantastic. Hopefully we can catch up with him in person when the big announcement happens on Thursday. Speaking of which, gents, it's time now for us to lock in our lines. Andy Farrell sent me a text.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just saying, look, I've got to announce this on Thursday. You boys haven't given me the full 37.
Yeah, makes
Do you
sense.
mind?
Yep.
So changes we can make now.
There's going to be some sad people because
Yeah, they were. Yeah,
they'd already packed their bags. They're going to have to
Unpack their
unpack.
bags.
Yeah.
a little bit of news, just not to sway you. Owen Farrell, they think, is probably going to be a no-no because of a head knock
Yep.
that happened during the week. We might need to remove him anyway.
A head knock. The
Yeah,
Lions don't
but
play
quite-
for another couple of months, mate. Like,
Let me read it to you. You think I'm right in the news here, pal?
yeah, but I just don't feel like a head knock unless it's.
Yeah, but I think they had the Challenge Cup on the weekend. Big game. Didn't really perform. He's not really
Yeah, but
put his
Correct.
name up.
I'm just saying a head knock is not going to rule him out for something that's in.
No, I think
8
Prof
weeks'
was being
time.
nice.
It's more the head knock that he doesn't get a chance to prove himself between now and
Right, okay.
then because he hasn't had much of a
Maybe just
season.
provide
You're right,
context
it's
when you throw
in
such
3
outlandish
days.
comments out.
Well, I obviously needed to just read the rest of the article. I was just skimmed over the headline. Right. Other stuff to take into account is big games on the weekend from Henry Pollock, Finn Smith, Tommy Freeman. Have we got Finn Smith up there?
We haven't. We haven't got Finn. We haven't got Tommy yet.
No, so they're playing very well at the end of this season. And
Blair Kinghorn potentially could be injured too.
maybe
But we'll
not.
leave him in there.
Leave him in there? Okay. Gents, you currently have 37 people up there. We are heavy in certain positions. I'm going to come to you first, Kits.
Yeah, off the back of Sione, obviously Scotland, I'm going to bring in Ben White. The number 9. Ben White, you need 3 nines to go. He was voted
Down the
second best 9 in the Six Nations. Obviously, Mitchell missed a couple of games, but I still think he's dynamite.
So that means we have to take one out because we're at full capacity now.
We'll have to remove someone, so you'll probably Owen Farrell, I suppose, with his head knock, will have to go, unfortunately.
That's what the news is saying.
Yep.
Yep.
You use your... Yep.
All right, so how many nines have we got now? 2?
3? Got the 3,
Terrific.
that's... They're done. They can pack their bags.
Fullbacks, how many would you normally take, Kits? 3?
Fullback, well, maybe...
You've obviously
2, or you need a bit of versatility potentially. You need a specialist in there. Drew, fullback, anyone?
I think Freddie Stewart.
Yep.
I think he's played well.
Yeah, he's good.
I think put Freddie Stewart down in the fullbacks there, Swoop.
And who would you like to remove? The removal's almost more fun than the putting the name in.
This is a tough one, but I'm going to remove Falatau. We've got a lot of back rowers, and I just think he's probably going to get squeezed out.
Yeah, that makes sense. And also Courtney Laws, if he gets the jersey, can play second row and back row.
Now, are you happy with only 2 specialist fullbacks? If
Well,
Kinghorn with a bit
I
of an
think
injury?
we've also
Elliott, yeah.
mentioned Elliot Daly because of his versatility as well. He can play wing, centre and fullback, so I think he's going to be in the squad. So I think we can whack Elliot Daly in there.
And I love everyone from Wales, everything about Wales.
Yes.
But unfortunately, I know off the back of Falatau getting removed, this isn't a crack at them. I love the Welsh, but I just think Ben Thomas hasn't done enough to get a jersey there.
That's who you're removing.
That's who I'm going to remove, yeah. So unpack your bag. Sorry, Ben. Nothing personal.
All right. Swoop,
Look, the upside is they get to go on a summer holiday, right?
And he can spend his summer in Wales.
Yeah.
beautiful part of the world.
Yeah.
Swoop, is there any changes you want to make in there, mate? This is your last chance.
No, I think that's
Just into the mic for me there, Swoop. You're right. There we go.
This
tight,
might
mate.
be controversial, but I just think Sam Pendergrass, I think he played his way out of a tour spot on the weekend. I just think that you look at Andy Farrell and what he was, former leaguey, hard centre. I think defence he'll be really big on. And I just think that on the weekend, on too many occasions, Sam Pendergrass chose not to attempt to tackle. Like, it's not that he can't tackle, he just didn't want to. And I think in a big game like that, it was semi-final, get into the Champions Cup final.
Is one of those on Henry Pollock?
One was on Henry Pollock.
Yeah.
There's, on a couple of different, like, really key moments in the game as well, where they're making line breaks and that. He was in the vicinity to basically reach out and grab someone, and he chose not to. I think look, I don't know, but I'm thinking.
But who are you going to bring in?
Finn Smith.
He's playing the house.
For
Yeah.
Pendergrass.
Double fins. You can never have enough fin.
Fins up.
Yeah. Just one end. He's not as greedy as old Russell with the double N. So we're still at 37 there with the
Yes,
squad.
have we got Alex Mitchell in there?
Yep.
We do.
Yep.
Very good. Still at 37. Did you want to? Are you happy with the 37 we've got? Because there's one other thing we need to do, obviously.
The captain, you mean?
Yep.
I think we're pretty good there, fellas.
Yeah.
All right. Got to make this one a social, Tommy, just to get people kicking off.
Yeah, Tom's happy. He put his thumb up.
Did he?
Never puts his thumb up.
No, he's not allowed to normally.
Yeah. Put your thumb down.
So, gentlemen, now is the time to pick your captain.
Mm.
Do you want? There is a little bit of news around
Yeah.
a bolter,
Yep.
Maro Itoje.
I don't know if he's a bolter.
No, as in,
So I also heard throughout the week.
okay, he's
No, but as a captain, heard throughout the week that he does give away a lot of penalties
right.
in tests. It's not something that I've noticed, but it's the talk in the UK that I saw on a podcast. So I think they're leaning away from him because of that reason.
So, Kalen Doris,
Yeah, Kalen Doris
yeah.
is probably the
bolter.
front runner. The front runner, I would
Yeah.
imagine.
Obviously, Andy coaches him normally.
Yeah, they'd already have a nice working relationship.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. Look, this might be.
Oh, I love it.
Well, you think like Leinster,
Yep.
they're $1.04 favourite against a $16 favourite.
No such thing as a certainty,
I
son.
know, but Ireland bow out in the quarterfinal. Like, you know, in big moments, it's not just obviously the lead, like the captain and leaders, but it's got to be said, Ireland don't do well in big moments, and maybe that's part of leadership.
I
So
love
who-
it.
Well,
I know. No, I love when you go off.
Is that,
like you're going off.
is that a bit much?
No.
Nah.
I mean, just so you know, most of the complaints we get are from Irish people.
Yeah,
Well,
I
Sione,
understand that,
what
but if
about
they sit in
Sione?
front of a mirror.
He was a great captain. He
See, we're gonna
captained
do
Scotland
Sione.
well.
Yeah, well,
You
I
want to
mean,
go Sione?
yeah, I think maybe it's a great story going back to Australia, but I don't know if I think we're maybe going for the story.
I mean, it's not like it's only the Lions. It's not like we're picking the Wallabies. Like
Yeah, that's true.
Anybody else on there that you would?
Swoop, I'd love to hear what you
Yeah.
think.
Well, I'm torn between someone up close that's experienced, closer to the action, like a Jamie George or a
Do you reckon
Tom
Jamie
Curry,
George
but
will start? though?
It's
Yeah,
more about
that's
who does Andy Farrell have a really good relationship in terms of who would be qualified as an Irish representative in this Lions squad.
And a guaranteed starter.
Exactly. Bundy Aki, not too sure, but
No.
Sione would probably get it over him at the moment. I mean, it's tough.
So we've got to put a little C next to a name here, boys.
Yeah, I
The three
know.
of you need to agree.
Well,
I'm-
if we're not going to see Sione, let's give him a VC.
Okay.
So I'll make that
Okay,
decision.
let's go VC for Sione.
And then,
I'm happy to go with Maro.
hey, why don't we make Mac Hansen the captain? It's too.
Well, he'll be the
obvious.
tour captain.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
TC.
he's definitely
Social.
tour captain. TC.
Yeah, but I
Give him
like
a
that.
TC.
I think Mara, yeah.
Mac Hansen,
Itoje?
TC.
TC.
Are we all going with
Where is
Itoje?
Love it.
TC.
Are you
Gentlemen,
happy with the Toji?
Yeah, I'm happy with
they
TC.
are the KOKO Locked In Lions. It's been a
Where is
long
he?
process. Many weeks, many hours, all of us sitting and
Congratulations, man.
Yeah, well done.
reading lots of
You can
articles.
pack your
Would you
bags.
like to run through the 37 that have made it? Drew, you
Okay,
very
for
good
those of you sitting at home with your loved ones, these are the men going to the shores of Australia to represent the Lions in a few weeks' time. Ellis Genge, Finn Baxter, Pierre Schumann,
Schoolman.
Andrew Porter, Finlay Beerlam, Will Stewart, Luke Cowan-Dickey, Jamie George, Dan Sheehan,
Nice.
and the man with the captain, armband, Maro Itoje,
Yep.
Ty Byrne,
Yep.
Joe McCarthy,
Love it.
Ollie Chesham,
Mm-hmm.
James Ryan,
Wow.
Courtney Laws,
Knew it.
Jemison Gibson Park,
Mm-hmm.
Alex Mitchell, Ben White,
Good pick.
and in our back row we have Ben Earls,
Yeah.
Kalen Doris,
Ooh.
Tom Curry,
Curry.
Jos van der Fleer,
Banner Flair.
Henry Pollock,
Whiz kid.
Jack Morgan,
The Welshie.
Marcus Smith,
Marcus.
Finn Russell,
The double Finn.
Finn Smith.
2
And in the
N's.
centres, in the VC, Sione Tuipulotu.
Yep.
Hugh Jones.
Ooh,
Bundy Arki.
Bundy.
Gary Ringrose.
Yep.
James Lowe.
Hello.
Mac Hansen.
Tour captain.
Duhan van der Merwe.
Who hunted but?
Right at the back, Blair Kinghorn.
Yep.
Freddie Stewart and Elliot Daly.
Well read, Drewy Mitchell.
Mate, those glasses are working a
know.
treat.
Yep.
I feel like a guru in these things.
Right, that's
That's
our
exciting.
37. Yeah, get on YouTube, right in the socials. Have we got it right? You don't have much time. I think they announced it on Thursday. It'll be interesting to see how many we got right. Imagine we got all 37 right.
It's doable.
Conspiracy theorists will be out saying we picked it. Very exciting. Lions coming up. Let's do superb rugby. It continues. Takeaways from the weekend, gents. What have we got? Who wants to go first?
Oh,
Look, I'll start. I thought it was great seeing our mate Kurtley Beale back. It's been 10 months since he ruptured his Achilles. He's done it bloody hard in the last few years, Kurtley, and just to see what he's been through and to get himself back in that position. He played 72 minutes, over 150 odd metres, 15 carries. He scored a try, a lot of line break assists. He looked good. It was just great to see him out there. I was actually in Perth watching it with his wife Maddie and his 2 kids, little KJ and Milo. It was really nice to kind of be there for them as well. It was a bit emotional, just knowing what he'd been through and to get there and to be able to watch it with them. But it wasn't just the fact that he was out there playing. Like, he genuinely, after 10 months, not played a single game or any minute in any type of footy to go out there and match it with the Blues out there. Obviously, the force didn't, it blew out a little bit towards the end, but I just thought it was a great comeback for him.
14-19.
Yeah.
It was Blues over the Force.
I know. I just wanted to touch on Kate. He looked alive.
Yeah.
Like no time had passed since he ruptured his Achilles. Catching high balls, darting down short sides, communicating, kind of directing
he's a footy
play.
player.
Yeah.
He loves it.
I was nervous for him because I know we had that chat with him around just being patient to kind of stay in the fight to finish on his own terms. But he's obviously done the work because he looked very darty.
He had some nerves going into the game. I was texting him before the game, and he had some nerves, but you wouldn't have seen it by the time he got out there. But the one thing I guess is really important, he wasn't that thrilled that the next day he had a 7-hour flight in economy, Auckland to Perth, after playing 72 minutes. He's an older fella.
Yeah.
And then also I think the starting tight 5, they were all flying premium economy. I'm like, come on, of all people, you put your old fella after 10 months up the front. Didn't happen.
That's not the front, though.
It's not the front, but it's further to the front.
Yeah, I know, but it's still... I actually prefer economy than premium economy.
Fuck off.
No, because you can't lift up the armrest
Yeah.
in premium. You're locked in.
Have you done much premium economy?
No, but I've walked past and I've seen people in there. Well, you can't even lift up your armrest. What are you doing?
Carlo, he just keeps rolling on, our boy.
Keep scoring tries, yeah.
12th try of the year.
And he had one disallowed early too.
Mate, he's absolute... Well, he's a bolter.
Wants to
For
wrestle me.
Wallabies. When will we do our Wallabies squad, boys? Next week?
Well,
start
next
it there?
few weeks,
I don't
maybe.
know. When's Joe thinking about doing it? Because it looks like I think Andy's going to look at ours, then pick theirs.
Okay.
So we'll have to do it 2 days before the announcement.
Joe must be very, very soon. Another takeaway. Who's got one for me? I'm looking at you, Swoople.
Tony Wanga, Fiji DRUA.
Yeah.
Wow, he's a beast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seemed like both sixes played really well from both sides. Saru Uru
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and Antonio Wanga. Like, that was a great game. I mean, it's a shame that the Reds couldn't get the chockies in the end, but
Jeez, they did enough.
they did a lot.
I mean, Fiji are always going to stay in the fight over there, but you've got to close those games out.
But just how powerful the DRUA are, particularly at home. They just go to another level. Like,
Yeah, once you hear the crowd starting to scream, you'd go.
and that
Get me
is a
off.
high-scoring match, and the Reds' D is solid. Like, they've got a great system in place. They've got good tech. Like, and the DRUA just to bust tackles the way they do. Like, I think they're. I don't know if they're a chance of the top 6.
Nah, I think they're 11th at the moment.
They are,
But
yeah.
if they, I mean, you'd like to see a kind of like a home final or a semi-final there too.
36-33. Drew up with the last play of the game they scored. Siru Uru, if he holds on to that
Nearly had
ball.
it, yeah. Interesting fact, I didn't know he played basketball till he was 19.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Pretty
didn't know
amazing that Sione didn't play union till 13.
Yeah.
Is that not late to start for somebody
I suppose
playing
you're
for
in
Wallabies?
Melbourne, like...
Well, I mean,
Oh.
only started at 13, but I guess I was playing legal growing
I think
up.
Justin Harrison didn't start till 16 or something.
Yeah,
or
Leota
something.
was a soccer player until he was 16 or something.
It happens, yeah.
Freaks of nature. Have you got one for me, Kits? I can probably guess what yours is going
I
to be.
don't. What happened Saturday night? Who played? It was 2 Aussie teams. That's right. It was the Brumbies versus the Waratahs. Tar week.
Yep.
And
good.
you both made bold predictions, and you thought the Tars would win.
What do you mean? I said rugby was going to be the winner, and it was.
No. You had on your Tars jersey, and you kind of pointed at the Tars symbol
Did
when
I?
you were giving your thing.
I think
yeah.
I was just
We
a
can
bit-
watch that back.
Yeah, it was a very long speech that you gave. But anyway, yeah, I thought that game was good. What I did like was Joseph Swali'i's game. I thought in a losing team, that was probably his best performance in Super Rugby. And the way that Tars used him off first phase, I enjoyed. Almost like he was a 13. So like his try, he was positioned, I think, behind Fiketti, almost like he was a fullback about to run wide. Then they've just peeled off the back of the scrum and he's just hit that seam like a good 13 would. Scores a try. Well, I think 13, for me, that's where I would play him and that's where I'd pick him.
But I also liked how he gets himself involved on both sides of the ball. There was one time, and who knows, people might say that I'll have a look at it, but where he pints it in from the outside to whack. No, I just think sometimes if he doesn't feel like he's getting in the game with the attack, he'll find a way in defence to get himself in the game. Like he's just always energetic to be involved in the game, and that's that's all you can ask for someone is just to put their fingerprints on as much as they can throughout the game when you're that sort of quality player.
Noah put his hand up as well. Played very well.
I thought all the Brumbies,
Yeah.
they were impressive. They were on. You could tell that they
Tool,
were.
Muirhead, they were good out on the edges. Tom Wright was good as well.
Amazing turnaround. Round 6, Waratahs win 28-23 to make it 40-19 in just 6 weeks. They've made adjustments.
Yeah, I think the conditions were a bit better too. I remember that Tars game was quite wet. But I thought David Filawai, that was his best game as a Brumbie. He sat down Joseph at one point there. But he was just strong, confrontational. Like I said, from 1 to 15, even the finishers that came on for the Brums, it just looked like they were really up for it. And that poor bus trip, 3 hours, must have taken it out of the Tars.
Also, our boy Billy Pollard, he scored again.
Another double.
Honestly, everyone that comes on here just...
No, thank you.
Alan Altoa
He didn't
was
send you
strong.
guys a thank you?
yet.
I just
Not
figured
yet.
he
Must be
would.
coming.
No, it will.
I think he's busy at the War Memorial on another day.
Yeah, he was an odd cat as well. Can I give you my takeaway?
Yeah.
Too many chefs spoil the broth.
Oh.
Have you got pictures here, Tommy? This is the New South Wales coaching box. There's at one point I counted 6 blokes in it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can we just go now to the Brumbies coaching box? Just have a look at this. This is just one bloke.
Yeah, you're also looking at budgets. You're looking at the ARU budget right there as well.
It's no longer ARU, it's RA.
Sorry, yep. Rugby Australia budgets.
Is Bernie Larkham better, Drew, than 6 Waratahs blokes? That's what I'm asking.
Well,
He was on the night.
look, in defence of where you're going with this, all the staff sit in front of Bernie.
I don't know about that. I got Tom to check the camera angle. Is that the case, Tommy? I don't want to hear that. Can I tell you my other takeaway that's connected to the Brumbies?
Yeah.
This week, Chiefs play the Crusaders. Mm-hmm. So if one of those teams lose, Brums win by a decent amount. They slide up into second, and then there's 3 more rounds for them to slide up into first because we want that home Aussie final.
Right,
don't
you did
we?
the maths all by yourself.
And
Well
that'll
done, Prof.
be, I mean, that'll be huge in terms of hosting a home semi for us to go through, or home finals to go through as deep as we can.
Speaking of finals, UBB.
Oh, hold on, just still on Super. Let's not get. We're still on Super, mate.
Yeah.
Any other
McDermott.
takeaways?
Well,
Tell me run out of
We
time.
didn't mention it was Tate's 100th cap on the weekend for the Reds.
Mm.
So unfortunately they didn't
They didn't live
think
for
enough
him.
of him to live for him in the last 5 minutes. But yeah,
But a great
obviously
achievement.
great
Yeah.
achievement.
I think also Ardies Savea, we speak about him a lot, but like last week he had that chip and chase try denied. This time he thought, you know what, going aerial didn't work for me last time, put one through on the ground. Like his skill set is unbelievable.
Has one player, and I know you don't like to say it, but has one player turned that side around in that he's inspired? They're currently sitting in 6th, beat the Highlanders for the first time. Like, is Ardies Savea making that big a difference for Moana?
Oh, look, I think it's I think it's one of those things where just his presence has an impact on the players around him. Like it fills them with confidence, probably motivates and inspires them to work harder at training, having someone that's doing it as well. He's not just saying to his players to do it. He's actually acting, leading with actions. So I think, definitely his being there has definitely lifted everyone around. But then also you get these moments where it's unbelievable what he's been able to do.
I think with those players too, you don't want to let them down. It was almost like Johnny, when we had Johnny on, I like talking about him with Toulon. But because he was so serious or always on, you didn't really want to let him down. If Johnny left early, I felt like they would have turned into the biggest party town.
Yeah.
And we probably wouldn't have won as many as we did. So having someone like Artie coming in that sets high standards, he lives up to them, but it then lifts the rest of the group as well.
Okay. Wallaroos, Fiji. Let's jump into that before we get into where you want to go. Wallaroos, amazing. 43, defeated Fiji 7. Looking good leading into this Pacific Nations Cup, this Pac 4 competition.
Yeah, well, they play the Black Ferns this weekend.
Yes,
up in Newcastle. Look, I thought our guys looked really strong. A couple of injuries, though. Maya Stewart, I think, her knee. I don't know how serious that is, and Bien Tarita did a hamstring as well. But I think overall, the way they were attacking, the opportunities they were creating, and just the start they had that first half was unbelievable.
Do the Sevens girls, have they made a difference to this 15 squad? I know Charlotte came on.
I mean, it's still very early. I mean, Charlotte came on the wing. She hadn't played there. She's only ever played her 3 games of 15s at fullback. I think Tia Hines also looks pretty sharp. Her skill set is very good. So it's one of those things as well, like with these girls. And even, I don't know if there's going to be any others that join after the Sevens finish in LA on the weekend, but it's time in saddle, and whether Joe Yap will make a decision on whether some of those other girls who played in LA over the weekend have enough time to make a positive impact. But I mean, I think one thing that's great is the depth is there for the Wallaroos. Competition for spots.
So they start their Pac 4 competition next weekend in Newcastle against New Zealand at 3 p.m. So get there, support the girls. It's your time now.
Here we go.
I know you've been waiting.
The boys were into their first Champions Cup final.
Is it first ever?
First ever.
That's cute.
So
Which is great.
The boys are.
But obviously,
No, who are the boys? What team are you talking about?
We're talking about Bordeaux, UBB, Union Bordeaux Beg. And tell you what, Pete Summer,
Yeah.
Not a friend of the pod yet, but we'll have to get him on. He had a brilliant game. Like he was very sharp.
Well, there's a number of Aussies going to be involved in the Champions Cup final. So there's Ram,
Josh
Kemeny, and also Scott Young from Northampton, Samu, Adam Coleman. There's probably another couple.
Benny Tapp. Well, there's a few there.
Benny Tapps, yeah.
But I mean, that's why I put this on.
So Bordeaux, they defeated
Duquois,
Toulouse 35-18. And Northampton, they beat Leinster 37-34.
No one saw that.
So
I mean, look, Leinster, why are you starting Geordie Barrett on the bench? He's nominated for player of the competition, and they're playing him off the bench.
Did that have something to do with how you can only start a certain amount of foreigners, and they maybe prioritised another position? I don't know. Yeah. I thought it was actually maybe in the 23 we couldn't have.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Too many. It's only Aussies and Kiwis that actually come under that umbrella. I don't know.
But all the Kiwis at Leinster play for All Ireland.
Yeah, so then maybe it was just a silly decision.
Yeah.
Did he come on and play okay, or it's too late?
Oh, it's too late, mate. No, it wasn't too late. Like, it was pretty.
The game went down the wire.
It's pretty tight. Yeah. That's just what I mean. But I just thought it was an odd call.
Who's going to win the final, Swoop? Northampton or Bordeaux?
Bordeaux.
Yeah.
Well done.
I mean, just have a quick look at this try, though, from Louis Bierry. This is off the first kickoff, I believe, in the second half.
And little Pete
Intimac kicks off, and then just like the depth here, no, we're going to go down the short side. I'm running out of space. Whoop. No, I'm not. Turns him in and around.
Yep.
And then this one, just a little loop play, gets it back.
That's what you call champagne rugby.
That is champagne rugby.
If you're ranking your world wingers right now, is he sitting number 1 based on that Six Nations where he scored like a million
he's definitely
tries?
up there. Like the one thing he has, he's got a knack for scoring tries, right? Like, and that's a big part of your job as a winger. But sometimes also, if your team aren't creating opportunities, then maybe there's other parts of your game that you need to be on top of. But in terms of try scoring and finishing, he's definitely up there.
I believe also there was during the week a celebration 10 years since you.
Yeah. Since our
triple, was it?
The triple, yeah. There's a 10-year anniversary since we beat Clermont. Oh, sweet. Mate, we always lift you up and celebrate your wins, but you just hate ours. You're just so bitter.
I remember that time when you guys would...
Greedy bastards, 3 of them. How many did you get? 4, 5?
Yeah, but you guys were in the final. Remember you made, we just come sixth one year. Remember, you were playing the other team and we were cheering for you.
Yeah.
Why don't you cheer for us?
Yeah.
Anyway, that was 10 years ago.
Good excuse to roll in Drew's try.
Yeah.
We love seeing
Good
it.
try.
We'll roll it in now. If you can find it, Tommy, anyway, we'll pop that in. It's a bloody good try. If you're listening to this, then you need to go to YouTube.
Actually, I was talking to Johnny Lungia over the weekend. He's now an assistant coach at the Brumbies. And he saw it on my Instagram stories. And he was the defender that took our halfback. He said, Sebastian Tiersport really did well to square him up. And I won't say what else he said, but basically he just sort of said if he drifted onto me, I said, yeah, you would have fucking folded me. We wouldn't even be visiting this at all. But
Lose can hit.
yeah, it was nice to kind of share those moments as well. Not just because I think one thing that it did for us is it fired up our group chat with all our teammates from Toulon.
Yeah, nice.
And and just got to relive some of those memories. And it wasn't necessarily just about the game, it was the celebrations and all those connections that we were able to make. So for an excuse like that to kind of reconnect, it was awesome.
If you had to guess, knowing that Toulon team, and he may have been on the pod, who do you think would be the first one to mention about the triple and the dates and putting photos up?
Was it Johnny Wilkinson?
No. I don't think he even is in that group chat. We might have removed him.
Ma'a?
No. Habsy. So Brian Habana,
Right, yeah, of course.
after every game, he would even give his GoPro to the physio. So he's like, at the end of it, make sure that you bring me the GoPro. He's like, smile like that.
Yeah, well, he does it now wherever we see him. He's got a drone flying around the
I
room.
know, he's got some great footage, but we just can't get it.
Yeah, he keeps it all.
And a big shout out to Habsy. I'm sure he's watching this. Sevens just taken place in LA last tournament of the year, I believe. Australia went down to the final, the women's 31-7 to New Zealand again, and then our Aussie men finished sixth.
South Africa beat Spain in the final of that one.
In the final. So
Spain had such a good year, didn't they?
Yeah, they've been strong.
Tommy's giving me the speed up here. He's bored. So what have you got on tonight, Tommy?
Yeah, basically. But it can get edited, can't it? Like,
What, Tommy being bored? No,
Yeah.
I can't fix it.
oh, okay.
No. Where to next, gents? I think,
Dear Drew?
yes.
No?
I don't know if it's a Dear Drew.
Oh, is it not? All right.
Well, I'm going to frame it as a Dear Drew.
Oh, you are?
Well, it's my Dear Drew to you.
Okay, sure.
So, Dear Drew, when we were away in Hong Kong, we had many great nights together. You know, we had a few beers and had some lovely dinners. One of them was both of you celebrated your birthdays.
Yeah.
And I was blown away by something that the three of you do, which is when it's someone's birthday, you give them praise and love, which for my friends, we do quite the reverse. And it was uplifting. I really enjoyed it. We did it the first night with Drew. I couldn't wait for the second night with you to say some lovely stuff.
Yeah.
But you two were talking about something you used to do at the Western Force, which absolutely blew my mind, which I'm hoping we can do on this podcast today.
Okay.
Do you remember what it was?
I think I'm getting...
Because
where
I
you're
asked you
going
about
with
400 questions about it.
Yeah.
Do you want to say what it was?
Yeah, so we started this at Force more just, I suppose, out of boredom. Once you're with hotels with each other and you're always, like you said with your mates, you're always hanging shit on each other, which we often do. But for one reason, I don't know why we did this, but we made Benny Castle lie down.
Yeah, Wigsy.
Wigsy, lie down, put the towel over your head and basically pretend you're dead. So it's a eulogy. So we tell him, it's almost like you don't, until the person's dead, you don't hear how good a bloke he was until they're dead. So we thought, look, we'll tell you how good or shit a bloke you are while you're alive. And that's kind of how it started.
Yeah, I think, exactly that, right? Like, I think we as mates, and as guys, we often tell each other we love each other, but not necessarily why we love each other. And so that's sort of this pre-eulogy, pre-memoriam is like an opportunity for us. Because, and again, what Matt said as well, like when someone passes away, then everyone talks about how good they are and says all the things they wish they'd told them before they pass. So we kind of just do this thing where we every now and then we'll just get someone to lay down and pretend it's their time. But that way they get to hear all the things and what we feel about them before they pass.
I think it's awesome. In a time when mental health's so important and giving each other praise does such wonders.
Well, as blind as we were, every time that we've done it, I remember every one of those things. We did it in LA, Swoop.
We did.
Yeah.
Who was dead in LA?
Well, we weren't sure if he was pretending, but DC, Darren Coleman, was lying down. And then we all had to go. You rush through it pretty quick so that everyone gets a chance to feel good.
Beautiful. So obviously, I'm assuming it's going to be one of you three today.
Yeah, so obviously time permitting, we're getting the wind up. So today, it's actually Swoop's death day.
Yeah.
It's my last day.
If you don't mind, we'll just quickly change the set,
Oh, okay, yep. We'll stop down here for a second.
and then we'll pick up and we'll say some things about Swoop.
Okay, and when we come back, Swoop's dead,
Yeah.
and it's Swoop's funeral.
Yes.
All right. Can I put on something a little bit more fitting for my funeral?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. Whatever you want to die in.
What you want to be buried in.
yeah. Well, I've got a few things I'd like to die in.
I bet
All right,
you do.
sweet. Drop.
Okay. It's a bit weird, to be honest. Do you want to reset what we're doing here?
Yeah, like we just mentioned, it's Swoop's pre-eulogy. So this is an opportunity for us to tell him some nice things about him that we would say after his death, but we'd like for him to hear it before that time comes.
Okay. Thanks for the invite, by the way. You
You're
guys don't
welcome.
invite me to start. It's a chip. I'm not emotional. And over to you, Drew.
Firstly, can I acknowledge that some viewers may be triggered by the news of Adam Philip Ashley Cooper's passing, but really, I don't think any of us can be surprised. Our Swoop, Swoopy, two dads. Swoop D-O double is now Swoop D-E-A-D. Dead. It was never meant to happen like this. I was never meant to be the one speaking at your funeral. I was born one day before you. I'm one Wallaby cap before you. He's 799. Adam 800. I was meant to go first. I was meant to greet you at the Golden Gates with a golden lager. I've lost a friend, a best friend. I've lost a soulmate. Since we first met in the age level Aussie teams, we were competing for similar positions. And in some cases, we were both dropped at the expense of the other, but we never let that come between us. In fact, for the 23 years we've known each other, we have never let anything come between us. A lot of my most cherished memories are moments we shared together, from living together, playing together, touring, celebrating and commiserating. We always did it together. Just wow. There were so many reasons why I loved you, bro.
Serious.
Your commitment to anything, to anyone, was unmatched. Once you locked in, there was nothing that was going to stop you from achieving what you wanted to achieve. Same goes for our relationship. You've supported me, guided me, been there through my dark times, and filled my life with so much laughter and joy. You've kept me accountable, pulled me up, had uncomfortable conversations with me, but always with the intent to help me. I fear what my life will now feel like without you here. I'm going to miss your laugh, the double kiss every time we greet one another. Fuck it, I'll even miss the annoying sound your joy makes every time you chew. I'll just miss my mate Swoop. I've been so proud of you and your recent journey of self-discovery and exploration and growth. You even turned to different types of crystals to be a source of your energy and for them to invite positivity in your life. But I'll never forgive myself for not being there to explain to you that crystal meth is not one of those positive crystals which has brought us here today. Rest easy, bro. Drift off to wherever you go next, knowing that I'll be there for your family. AC and Ava will be supported, and they'll never stop hearing about how awesome their dad was. As per your request, we will now cremate you, your entire body, as the hospital knock back all of your organs for donation. And just like you asked, I'll spread your ashes at your favourite place, in all the ashtrays in the Bondi Hotel pokey room. Fly high, bro. Watch over me like the voyeuristic perv that you are. I love you, bro.
Hey, well done. Oh,
I'd now like to invite Matt up to say
oh
a few
look,
words.
no, look. Oh, okay, I'm heading up.
For those listening, Matt, Drew has just given Swoop a kiss on the lips, and now Matt is at the lectern.
Yeah, I'm here. I didn't prepare anything, so what I'm going to do, it's almost what we did at the birthday party. So I'm just going to tell Swoop, because there's something inside me that tells me he's listening. And he still felt quite warm before there, so it'd be an interesting burning. Swoop, as I told you in Hong Kong, your loyalty and the person you are, just being yourself, always yourself, whether it's annoying, whether it's funny, whoever you are, every time you turn up, you are you. I'm going to miss you, Swoop, but I might keep a little piece of you if you don't mind. Rest easy, son.
Matt is now leaving the lectern. He's going to take a shoe. This is what Swoop would have wanted.
Well, and also Swoop requested that he gets buried in his debut jersey. That's his debut jersey, and also his $20 team boot.
And there's a bag of corn chips resting on his chest, which is no longer going up and down because he's now dead. I guess that's the end of the show.
Prof, do you want to give me CPR and bring me back?
Not particularly. It was a wonderful little segment there where you weren't fucking it up, Swoop. So, have you got a few words, Swoop, just about your funeral, just before we go here? This is Swoop from heaven now, from the grave.
It was nice. It was hot. It was hot down there. Sweating a bit.
Well, if it was hot, maybe you were heading the wrong way, mate.
Highway to hell. Yeah, no, thanks for that, boys. No, appreciate it. I look forward to returning serve when you guys die next. Who's dying next?
Well, it's up to you. And we encourage people at home to do this. Get your loved ones around.
Yeah.
Find somebody, put them.
Yeah, don't wait until they're not able to hear it. I think it's important to tell people that you love them, but also why you love them. So.
Absolutely. And make sure.
And also bring a bit of humour to it. And
it's got to be fun.
Don't do crystal meth.
That's a big one for the kiddies. All right, that was the show. We are Kickoffs and Kick-Ons. That's where you can find us. That's our website. Type it in. Also, all our socials. Gents, has anybody got anything else to add?
Yeah, I do. Do 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 do.
I was made for loving.
Give it to him, Drew.
Yeah, give it one.
KOKO!
Oh, wow. That is the best video on YouTube. You know what you need to do now? You need to like and subscribe down there. Or if you want extra content, might be down there, you need to go up here or up here and get more of that gear. Thanks for supporting Kickoffs and Kick-Ons, and we will see you very soon.